Hey guys, this is Rob from RM Commodity Trading Advisors. I had a situation come up when I was talking to an advisor, and he didn't understand why I didn't think it was best to be putting money into any type of savings or retirement savings like 401ks or anything until you were totally out of debt. And this is something that I showed him that at the end of it, he's like, I can't believe I've been doing this for 18 years and I never knew this. Well, also, this is things that we've showed CPAs and tax attorneys that we have CPAs and tax attorneys that have been doing this for 25 and 30 years, that once they see this, they change what they're doing in their practices. So this is a real client. I just took away all the information so that we're just going to call him Mark and Joyce through this. Mark was 37 and Joyce was 35. They wanted to retire at 65. They had three kids. They didn't have any college savings yet. They needed to reduce debt. We'll take a look at their debts in a second, and they wanted to try and help with their spending. But all we're going to do is talk about the retirement planning portion in this little video, just to go over it in a couple of minutes so you have a good idea of where to start. The first thing we wanted to take a look at was they were putting away $36,500 to their current retirement savings. Between the two of them, that was $300 going in monthly contributions. Now, since they were only putting together $300 a month in contributions in the plan that we put together for them, we do not ask for any more money. So we do it with the same contribution. So we want to, when we compare this, we want to do it apples to apples. So we are not asking for any additional money. All we do is we change, instead of putting that $300 into their 401k, we put it into our plan. Now we assumed a 5% annual interest rate for them. And then also they were in the 25% tax bracket. Now you'll notice that the retirement account, after 30 years, we did 30 years because you'll see in a second it was going to take them 30 years to get out of debt the way that they're currently paying their debts off. So in 30 years, you'll notice that they had $408,000. Now that's a pretty good start, but then also what you have to remember, since it's in a 401k, you have to take out the taxes. So after taxes, that was the $306,000 that you see there. So they saved, with their current plan, $306,000. So then what we wanted to do was show them what would happen if we just used that $300 in payments and put together a plan that was paying off their outstanding debts first. So what happened is, when we took a look at their outstanding debts, I wanted to take a look at this because this is a very common situation. Now, for business owners, these could be business debts also that we would want to recapture it for business profits also. But when you take a look at their Visa cards, their normal Visa card, $55 payment, I'm sure we have something like that. Their daughter's braces was $200. They had a Discover card, their credit card. Their main credit card was $300 that they'll put in a month. They had furniture on something, so you could replace that with any type of consumer loan that, maybe Cabela's, or maybe you have something at Best Buy, or any type of other type of consumers. The auto loan was $417. Now, what you got to remember here, normally both people have a car payment that's normally $300 to $400. They only had one car payment, and the mortgage was $972. So when you take a look at this, if you look down the payments, that comes down to them paying over $2,000 of their income that comes in every single month. They spend $2,000 just paying off all this interest and payments that they have out on debts. And that is why, when you think about it, it's very hard to put this much money out on all your payments and still be able to live on what's left. So one of the other benefits is that, once you pay this off, you're also going to have more cash that comes in every single month. It's not even so much about the interest returns. You're going to have that money in your hand that takes away all that stress of worrying about, oh, I have to pay this, I have to pay that. So sometimes it's not always just about the interest, but that's a lot more comfortable lifestyle also. Okay, so this is what their numbers look like. After 29.5 years is when they were totally out of debt. Now their current debt balance was $179,000. But what some people don't take a look at is that $179,000, after you pay the interest, nobody ever thinks, oh, I'm actually paying $374,000 in debt. That's your real debt. You have to remember, if you take 30 years to pay them off, they're going to get $195,000 of interest. Now do you understand why there isn't going to be a banker that's going to show you, don't pay off your debts? They don't make money doing that. An advisor is not going to make money if they tell you to do this, because there's no way to make money by paying off your debts. You are the only one that makes money, and it's 100% guaranteed. Okay, so then when we take a look at this, what we did is we were able to pay off all of their debts within 8 years. Now, that was a pretty long time. So a lot of people like, I don't want to be giving up my lifestyle for the next 8 years. But what I want you to realize here, the reason why it took that long was because the home took most of the time. But in the first year or two, we got rid of most of their consumer debt. So that means just doing this and paying this off, if you get rid of that consumer debt over the next year to 2 years, or even if it takes you 3 years, you just put another $800 a month into your cash flow that you could decide what you want to do with. Think about it. You would probably be able to do something a little better with that $800 than sending it to someone else. But also, since it does take 8 years to pay this off totally, we will show you how you can be building accounts, savings that you're able to utilize over the next 8 years, because you are going to have purchases and you're going to want to go on vacation, and there's going to be other things that you want to do. So the way that we accumulate your money for the next 8 years, you can access it and use it to do other purchases and everything that you're going to need to do. Because if you have it where you're just giving all your money away to pay off your debts quicker, we know you're not going to stick to it. And you have to stick to it. If you take a look to the right here, this is the Get Out of Debt report. Everything that we set up for your plans, we always put it in reports in black and white, because we want to be working with your CPA or whoever's doing your taxes, and we want to make sure all of our planning, if we want it to be taken a look by your attorneys, we got to make sure all these people are on the same page. One thing you do not want to do is let someone give you investment advice unless they know what's happening with your taxes. I see it all the time. They're investing in stuff, and the guy where he's investing, he has no idea how it's affecting people tax-wise. But then also you go talk to your accountant. A lot of times accountants are historians. You just give them your information and they just put it on your taxes for you. You want to make sure in your plan, what we do is we show you stuff up front. You need to be, the way that you're planning and the way you're investing needs to be investing where you're protecting yourself against any risk, where you're reducing your taxes and helping with this better cash flow. Like the cash flow is what we're showing here, because this right here, you'll see once we get out of the debts here, we're freeing up that cash flow. So in the next 2 to 3 years, Mark and Joyce are going to have $800 extra of cash flow. And in 8 years, they'll have that full $2,000. So if we see that right there, they're out of debt in 7.9 years. Look at the saved interest. They saved over $116,000 in interest. That's what your credit cards are costing you and your debts. So I want you to think about that also. We freed up, like we just talked about, we freed up over $2,000 for their retirement planning, whatever they want to do. Now remember, this plan is set up where they're not taking any more money out of their pocket. So whatever they were doing is what we have put together this plan for them. And then also the savings here in 29.5 years is over $1 million. When you think about their current savings plan, it was only that $306,000. Because take a look here, their current plan with the $300 a month, after taxes for retirement, because it was over 400,000. But remember, after you take out the taxes, it was only 306,000. But now when you take a look at our plan, it's the same thing. We're doing the same thing with the same $300. We weren't asking for any additional money. We had over $1 million, and that's why we put tax favored, because they were, the reason why that asterisk is there is they were very conservative. So that asterisk is there because this is fixed and guaranteed accounts where they do not want to risk anything. So where that 306,000, that was a hypothetical 5%, in their 401k. Our plan, the way that we set it up for them, it was by contract law that you could take a look through all the documents that we put together in your plan, that in black and white, it shows we only invested them in fixed guaranteed accounts, and we were over $1 million. So what we want to do is take a look at what the costs are. Now remember, there's no cost to you. We don't charge you anything to set this up, and it doesn't cost you anything to do this for yourself. But it does cost you over $1 million in retirement if you don't get rid of your debts. And then also, it costs you over another $100,000 in the interest if you don't get rid of those debts. So in total, is it costing you something? Yeah, it's costing you over $1.2 million to be investing in 401ks or other savings plans before you get out of debt. So part of your cash planning for retirement, the quickest and easiest way and 100% guaranteed way to make sure you're getting a better return like this is to get out of debt first. Now, it isn't sexy, so there isn't a lot of people that are going to help you. So when you talk to your advisors, they're not going to help you because they don't make any money. Your bankers don't make any money doing it either. So it's not that there isn't a better way out there. It's just that someone can't profit off of it. So that's why you don't hear about this a lot of the times. So let's take a look at this. There was no cost for us to put the plan together for them. So there's no cost there. They're spending the same amount of money that they have always been saving. So we didn't change that either. So if you take a look at this last thing here, I want to ask you a question. If I could show you how to get out of debt in the next 9 years or less, now that's including your mortgage, without spending any additional money than you're spending right now, why wouldn't you do it? Okay, there's really no reason. The only reason why people don't know about this is because it's not profitable to do this for people. And so these reports and everything that we looked at, these were Mark and Joyce's numbers. So the next thing that we need to do is just get together for probably around 25 to 30 minutes to get this information from you. Now, when we get information from you, there is no personal information. We are not asking for any account numbers or social security numbers or anything. All we need is just the numbers of where your assets are, because what we'll do is take a look at how to do the cash flow planning for you. We want to take a look at how we could reduce your taxes, also help you get out of debt while you're still able to utilize the money like this plan was. This plan here was mostly just getting rid of the debts. That's why I showed this plan to him, because that was 90% of this, and it didn't cost them anything to have it put together or anything different. So that's why we showed him this. So what you need to do is just get in touch with us. You could get in touch with me by phone. There's my phone number. It's 352-678-1595. That comes directly to me. Most of the time, if you leave me a message, I'll get in touch with you very shortly. Also up there on the right, that is an email to me. If you just wanted to ask me some extra questions, or if you wanted me to send you the data sheet that we need, you could just fill out the data sheet. Remember, don't put any personal information on there. You could just fill out that personal data sheet and send it back to me so we could put together your plan for you. Now, also, you'll see the 724 fund. That is the fund that I run as a hedge fund manager. That is our currency fund for Rmcta. But then that is our Facebook page. So if you go to Facebook and look at 724 funds, you could get more information on that. And then also, if you take a look at Facebook under stress-free finances, that is our personal finance page for the RMCTA advisors. So go ahead and like both of them, and then what will happen as I'm giving updates on what's going on in the economy or what you should be doing with your personal finances, you will get a link right to you by Facebook. All right, well, hopefully this was helpful to you. Please comment or let me know if there's any questions that you'd like me to answer. Other than that, I hope to hear from you soon. Have a blessed day.